Welcome to the Panic Room, where we talk about all things panic-inducing. I am the Queen of Panic. Warning, some episodes may contain content that may be disturbing to others. Viewer discretion is advised. Now let the games begin.
Well, it's almost that time again, so let's take a moment to look back on a simpler time. A time when beautiful glowing jack-o'-lanterns shone by every door, and children safely walked the streets, dressed up like ghouls and ghosts, in search of tasty treats. So very sweet. But then Billy went missing, didn't he? Did you see it? The faceless child. Did you watch as its skin slugged off its body, and the tendrils came out to wrap around Billy before pulling him away? The adults didn't believe you, did they? But hell, they sure do now, since the next year even more things came out to play. So now, we know to hide inside as the sun goes down on Halloween night. And if you see tomorrow, don't forget to tune in. This has been DJ Betos, signing off. I turned the radio off and sat quietly by the door with a shotgun in hand. Halloween had just arrived, and I had anxiously awaited the yearly season of trick or treat. As always, I turned off all the lights, boarded up the windows, and removed any door signs. It usually did the trick, yet I was on edge. I only had one window left to the outside world, that tiny pinhole in the door. Yet it was enough to witness the hundreds of tiny creatures walking around on the street, all dressed up in various disfiguring costumes. You better stay the hell away from me. Should any of the horrific small monsters approach my door, I was ready to pull the trigger. Still, that would only provide me a minuscule opportunity to escape. There were simply too many of them, more arriving by each passing year. My best bet would be to remain quiet. One costumed child in particular caught my attention. It was a little faceless creature. I found myself thinking about how it would even eat. Yet that question was quickly answered as its abdomen tore open, revealing rows upon rows of razor-sharp teeth. A shiver ran down my spine as my eyes widened to the next mangled monstrosity, an armless, headless creature, dragging itself across the ground with dark tendrils. But I noticed something else amongst the hellish hellscape before me, something moving differently from all the things. A kid. I think that's a kid. What the hell is it doing out here on a hellish night like tonight? Doesn't she know better than to go outside on Halloween night? I watched as she futilely tried to escape. Not screaming or crying for help, She simply tried to go unnoticed amongst the sea of monsters. I just sat there, frozen with indecision as I processed the reality of what I was witnessing. This has to be a trick. Has to be. But then I saw as the child fell to the ground, tripping over something. With that, an instinct thought dead for years woke up, and I barged through the front door. The kid wasn't far away, just across the street. But I had absolutely no confidence that either of us would make it back inside alive. But I still had to do something. I ran through the masked figures, each of them looking like children dressed in creative Halloween costumes. Within a few seconds, I made it to the kid before I could pull her up. One of the creatures lunged at us, ready to strike. I pulled up my shotgun and pulled the trigger. I watched as its Mickey Mouse-shaped head exploded. But the creature's headless corpse somehow continued to crawl after us as the others turned to face us, drawn by the sound of the shotgun. I pulled the youngin' up from the ground, and we retreated back into the safety of my house. I slammed the door closed, barely making our escape before they started clawing at the door. We hadn't escaped, just simply delayed the inevitable. No 2-bit wood door was gonna hold them out, and it's just a matter of time before they break through.
Hey kid, why the hell did you go out there at night? Don't you know any better?
We were going home for curfew, but the monsters came earlier this year.
Tears ran down their cheeks. Damn, couldn't have been older than 10, and wasn't in particularly good shape on top of that.
Hey, where are your parents?
They're dead. The monsters killed them.
Their bodies shook as tears continued to flow at my question. The things were at my door, hammering away. Desperately trying to break through. Despite their childlike appearance, they were strong and showed a certain level of intelligence.
What are we gonna do?
I struggled to come up with an answer, not just for the child, but for me as well. But my brain felt sluggish and fractured, like scrambled eggs on a fryer. As each idea seemed to come and slide off, my brain just kept drifting over the situation. The banging, the scratching on the door, the child trembling in front of me. What am I gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
The kid asked again. Just a moment ago I'd saved their life, though I fear that may be an overstatement. Really, it seems like all I did was delay the inevitable while getting myself caught up in this mess. I gotta come up with a plan before the monsters break through. Why did I get myself caught up in all of this mess? I would have been safe and fine behind the door if I'd just been willing to watch the child get murdered. If I still had my family, I wouldn't even question putting their safety at risk for this shit. But they were some of the first to go in the early years.
Hey, come on, kid. It's time to get you to safety.
Well, I guess there's only one thing to do. At least there'd be a chance that one of us might make it out alive. The creatures could break through at any moment.
Do you know the neighbor, Mr. Jackson?
The kid nodded. Mr. Jackson is a good man. Probably one of the few people still willing to let a stranger come in on Halloween night.
Listen, I want you to run over to his house. Climb up the drain pipe and knock on his bedroom window. Can you do that for me?
Again, the child nodded. Yet I could still see the panic shining behind their eyes.
What about you?
Oh, I'm gonna stay here, child. Gotta buy you some time. Now get the hell out of here!
I gave the kid a gentle push out the door, closing it behind them as I turned to point my shotgun back at the cracking front door. It was just in time to see the door crumble, just as I feared, as they forced their way into my house. I fired a round at the first monster, pushing them back outside, buying me just a second, well, nearly deafening me as the shotgun blast echoed in the enclosed space, and they all rushed in my house, and I found myself retreating upstairs into my bedroom at a record pace for my old bones. I grabbed a few loose boards laying down there and quickly smacked them against the door, pounding them in place, thoroughly trapping me inside. I looked around and nervously checked just how much ammunition I had left. Not enough to kill a mass of monsters like this, but maybe enough to take a few of them down with me. I probably only have a few moments left before it's all over, and I found myself learning firsthand just what happened to my family all those years ago. I just hope that kid makes it safely next door. I don't want to have to die for nothing.
If you have any stories that you would like to see narrated here on the channel, please go into the subreddit and submit them there. The link is in the description. Also, we do have a Discord now. Thank you so much to Creepy Clown Girl for putting it together for us. You can come hang out with me and other narrators and get the party started, get spooky with us. That link is also in the description as well. And last but certainly not least, I wanted to introduce the King of Panic. We have a lot of brand new content coming soon with him in it. He is very talented. He does not have his own channel. He just kind of wants to be a part of this. So if you would like to hear from him once you start and you like his voice, stay tuned here. And as always, thank you for visiting the Panic Room. You have successfully made it to the next portion of your tour. Please stay tuned for your next prompt. Click the like button and subscribe to receive notifications for when the next portion of your tour is ready to join. Thank you for watching. Don't let the panic drown you.